Hey everyone, Tom here with Train at Platinum Fitness. I want to talk about the most effective ways to lose weight today. All right, we're going to try to break it down into three pieces that can help you out along this path. But at the end of the day, there's really only one way to lose weight, and that is to create a caloric deficit. We have to ingest less calories than we're going to burn, okay? So we'll talk about the three most important parts. Each of these will overlap, and you'll find that you need to take in consideration how one does holding up with one as they address another. First and foremost, we have the ever important, unavoidable component, you guessed it, nutrition. Your meal planning component is to be the most impactful way of addressing losing weight. Let's start with the formula for that. We all burn a certain amount of calories each day, which is called our daily energy expenditures. We estimate what number that is for each of us, and it is different, just as we are all different. Creating the calorie deficit is the only way to lose weight, as I'd mentioned, despite what some other people may tell you. If it were easy and without sacrifice to lose weight and to be thin, then everybody would do it. So let's start with nutrition. Meal planning and nutrition are paramount. The three factors that make up these total daily energy expenditures are your activity level, what you do all day long, what you do for a living could impact this number. Then of course your exercise, the specific time that you dedicate to your exercising, and then your BMR, your basal metabolic rate. The BMR is based on your genetics, age, sex, and then muscle mass, or your body composition. Besides the body composition or muscle mass, those first three things that make this number up are what they are, okay? But with the muscle mass, we can dictate what that level is for each of us within reason. We simply enter these vitals into our software along with your average daily activity and exercise, as I'd mentioned, to come up with your total energy expenditure. From there, we determine the deficit and use that as a caloric target for each day. A useful method to help remember this is to consider there's 3,500 calories in a pound of fat. To lose 1 pound a week, the math would say you need to decrease your caloric intake by 3,500 calories in that week. So by dividing that 3,500 calories for the week by 7 days in a week, you need to cut 500 calories a day to lose that pound. Another way to look at it would be if one's total energy expenditures was 2,500 calories per day, what they burned, and one person consumed 2,000 calories per day, they would succeed in losing 1 pound per week. While the math is the basis for this formula, the goal is to build the targeted daily calories in a balanced and nutritious manner. Everyone's schedule is different, but we recommend eating at least 3 times a day and up to 6 times per day. The more times you eat, obviously less calories per meal. The meal should have a healthy balance of lean proteins, complex, unrefined carbs, and healthy unsaturated fats. Of course, if you have an allergy or are unable to metabolize carbs efficiently, then you can adjust accordingly. Remember, at the end of the day, we're just looking for a caloric deficit, but we are championing the healthy choices that we make for our foods when we can. All your food choices should be natural, absent of any refinements and processing. Calorie counting can be annoying at first, but if you want to take guesswork out of the equation, then it should become a part of your everyday routine. For many people, including myself, it becomes a lifestyle. If that lifestyle and routine is consistent, you'll begin to memorize the calories in your food choices and it will become second nature. For those of you that have our branded app, you can link your MyFitnessPal, which will make this even easier to start tracking your food intake and calorie expenditures. Next up is your cardio training. This part is important not only to burn additional calories, but for heart and vascular health as well. As you begin to understand how many calories you naturally burn each day, you'll soon realize that adding in a cardio regimen can boost the number of calories you burn each day. If in the earlier example you realize you're going over your 2,000 calorie target, you can counteract it with the appropriate amount of cardio. A good cardio baseline is at least 30 minutes of activity, at least 3 to 4 days per week. Again, with exercise, there are many software platforms available. They can just plug in your exercise to determine approximately how many calories you burn each time you complete your cardio. With this cardio, we're not recommending any specific mode. It's very important that you choose something that you like to do or that you like to do more than other options, something that'll continue to keep you motivated and in sync and in a groove. The third piece of the puzzle is strength training. Of course, you burn calories while you lift weights, which is beneficial. What may be overlooked, however, is the benefit of increasing your lean muscle mass. It's oftentimes overlooked. If you remember in my opening, I talked about your BMR, which is how many calories your body burns each day on its own. Well, part of this calculation is your body composition or your lean muscle. It's the only piece of your BMR that you really can control. You can't control what gender you are or how old you are, etc. Muscle burns fat efficiently, so the more muscle you have, the more calories you'll burn each day, everything else being equal. A healthy, realistic, and consistent balance of these three components with an emphasis on caloric and nutrition management, you'll begin to see weight loss results. Remember, I cannot emphasize enough that at the end of the day, you have to create a caloric deficit in order to lose weight. Thanks.